So there's a lot of serious things going on in the world right now. There's conflict in Eastern Europe, and then we have conflict in the Middle East right now. And I didn't have the opportunity to do a November astrology video. So I'm going to give you a very important date this month. And this especially is pertaining to the USA chart. Remember, I've been telling you all that the USA has an important transit that's happening called Sade Sati. We're going to explore that because there's a day this month where it's going to be at the most potent and the most intense. And this could tie into all of the other issues that are happening globally. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. For those of you that are new to my channel, make sure you like and subscribe. Also, if you're interested in a private personal reading, check down below for details. I am still going to be running my discount for the month of November that I was running for October. So if you all are interested in 40% off, use code name Thor at checkout. Check for details down below. All right. So let's go ahead and take a look at the USA chart because I feel like I need to get this video out because we could see a lot of things happening very quickly here. Okay. October, like I said in my previous video, actually ended up being uh, a really intense month. We saw a conflict start at the very first week of October. Now it's heading into November here. So let's talk about the USA chart. Obviously, the USA is very much involved with everything that's happening around the world. And it's an important player. So that's why I think it's so important to look at the USA chart. Now, in Vedic astrology, they have something called Sade Sati. Let me write that down for any of you that are new. In Vedic astrology, which is the astrology of ancient India, they have something called Sade Sati, and this can affect, a nation, as in the USA chart, but it can also affect individual charts as well. So you always want to check where is transiting Saturn in your chart, and that's where this is how we determine whether you're in Sade Sati or not. Well, let me give you the definition of Sade Sati, and then we'll talk about where the USA is at the moment. Sade Sati, it happens when Saturn transits the sign before your moon, your natal moon, while it's transiting the sign of your natal moon, and then after the sign of your natal moon. So 3 houses it spans. So usually it lasts around, it lasts around 7.5 years total. Okay. So if we're looking at the whole overall Saturn transiting the 3 signs, it's 7.5 years. But Sade Sati is the most acute, it's the most intense. Oops, I can keep Sade Sati there. When it's transiting the sign of your moon. Okay, so that lasts for about 2.3 years. Okay, so it's 2.3 years per sign. So when it's actually in the sign of your moon, that's when it's just like the energy is extra intense, okay? Because Saturn is putting so much pressure on your moon, and the moon, so much of the moon represents who we are, what reincarnates every lifetime. Your moon is essentially this package of all these samskaras and tendencies that keep on reincarnating through time. So that's why it's so important. And then when Saturn is transiting that, and I'm kind of drawing Saturn right over it, it's like all this pressure, all this heavy karma is happening. Now, when people are in Sade Sati, it traditionally is seen as a period of bad luck, of people turning their back on you, of tragedies, of bad things that happen to us. So a lot of times on personal level, when someone's going through Sade Sati, they might have a divorce, or they might face a bankruptcy, or they might face something that's a really tragic thing. And that's where a lot of the heavy emotions can come from. Okay. And then Saturn is the Karaka, or the planet of loneliness, of separation, of reality really hitting. Okay, like realizing you're alone. So anyways, there's this idea of, well, not the idea, Saturn, let's talk about exactly what's going on. Let me clean this up again because I don't like how I drew it. For the last several months, you may remember Saturn was retrograde, and on November 3rd, Saturn went direct. By the way, Saturn is currently in the sign of Aquarius. Okay. It's been hanging at around between 6 and 7 degrees of Aquarius this whole time for the last month. So all of October is pretty much hanging out around 6 or 7 degrees of Aquarius. And you'll notice that's where the USA moon is. It's right there in Aquarius. And the thing to really point out is it's still going to be within that 3 degree orb. So between 6 and 9 degrees, all the way till the end of the year. Okay. And usually when we think of a planet having a maximum effect is usually that 3 degree orb. Okay. So 3 degrees from, I'll just clean up the whole thing. So within 3 degrees, there's going to be maximum effect. So from now, November 3rd, all the way till the end of the year, there's this maximum intensity energy. But let me give you a specific data when it's actually exact. And I'm talking about to the degree and minute. Okay. It's going to be exact on the USA moon, November 15th. So you want to mark that on your calendars. There could be some events around that time. Okay. November 15th. Strong energies, okay, very powerful energies, but this is a very negative energy. This is not a good energy whatsoever. This is the energy of difficulty, of depressions, of really bad tragedies, of really horrible things in a with a traditional interpretation. And when Saturn went direct on November 3rd, that's when a lot of that retrograde energy, again, it was just that when it goes from retrograde to direct, there's like this almost explosiveness of energy that takes place. So Saturn is back moving forward, and Saturn is going to be applying the law. Now, some of you might be wondering, what do you mean by the law? So Saturn, wherever it's transiting in your chart, in the USA charts in the fourth house, it's applying the law. And what I mean by the law is Saturn is applying karmic law. So karmic law through pre-birth agreement. So whatever's happening is a karmic by pre-birth agreement. So if there's something slated to happen, like in the USA chart, this is all according to the law pre-birth agreement of karma. Okay, so this is something to think about. Now, let's talk a little bit about what the fourth house represents. So November all the way till the end of the year, this energy is very intense, but specifically November 15th, it's the actual like degree and minute. It's in the fourth house. Look at that. It's in the fourth house and it's over the moon. The fourth house can represent homeland. It can represent a real estate. So, I can represent mother figures. Okay. Now, I typically think of it being like domestic concerns. So I feel like whatever issues happening, it's probably going to be domestic, like in the country. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. There could be connections to what's going on in the broader world, but there is some sort of difficulty happening in the homeland. That's what it really represents. So we could be seeing something here from now, as of I make this video on November 8th. It's going to post on November 9th, but we could see something very soon here, all the way up into the end of the year within that 3 degree orb. This is really intense. Remember, Saturn represents very heavy karma. And so you really want to take a look at where it is in your chart, because in all of our charts, with Saturn going from retrograde to direct on November 3rd, remember, there was a powerful energy there that happened. And so this energy is applying some sort of karmic law into your life. So that's something to think about. I'm going to be keeping up with events, and I'm going to be posting more videos. I might put out a new video on Netanyahu. I think we had a chart. I just want to recheck the birth time. I did do a previous reading. And we'll see if we can get any more information on that. And then also, of course, I'm going to be doing more celebrity videos and update videos on the world situation. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below, and take care of yourselves. This could be a really intense time. So take care.